Hey folks, it's Tommy Frugal Prepper. I'm out here doing some troubleshooting on the Buick Lucerne. The other day, it started throwing a oxygen sensor code for oxygen sensor number 1, like the control circuit and all that was bad. And so I'm like, okay. And it started throwing a Purge solenoid code. And so I think I found the problem with the oxygen sensor. It's right here. This is the wiring to it. Something had lunch. Oxygen sensor wiring. Check that out. Working fine one day, not the next. So I'm gonna have to get a new O2 sensor and get that replaced. But the Purge solenoid should have a pink black wire and like a white wire. But I don't have a pink black, that's the power. I know that from working on these. It looks like a pink black and a green wire. Yeah. So the pink black wire should be hot and run or start. And so what we're gonna do is check that. We're just gonna check and see if we have power going to this guy. See if the problem's on the power side or the control side. I'm pretty sure the Purge solenoid's good, but it could be bad. But it's a circuit code, which is either the coil is open or shorted in there, or there's something going on with the wiring. Having seen that on the O2 sensor, I'm going to say it's probably wiring related since they happened at the same time. So let's get a test light and see if we have power on this guy. Okay, so I got the ignition on, and now we're going to see if we got any juice here, and we don't appear to. Let me just try touching the front of this connector. No juice. Let me verify that the test light works. And it does. Okay, so that comes from a fuse in here. I don't think it's connected with the oxygen sensor fuse, but I could be wrong. Oh, come on off. These stupid things. There, okay. They put it on this part. On newer cars, this part's supposed to be thrown away. But on this one, I guess it's not, because it's got all the writing on it. So we want the powertrain fuse, I believe is what it is. I believe that's number what is that? Crap. Powertrain. That's R4. That's a relay. So we want a fuse. ECM crank powertrain F22 15 amp. So let's look for F22. F22 is, see, there's 2 banks of fuses here. Then there's a spot for this relay, and then there's this right here. That's F22 right there. So we're gonna see if that guy's good. Okay, so I checked the fuse. Let me check this down here, and I see that I have power on one side of this fuse. Or I should have. Oh, hang on, wrong fuse. This fuse. Right, and I don't have power on this side of the fuse. So I have to check the wiring diagram to be sure, but I'm pretty sure that this being shorted out probably had something to do with blowing that fuse. So I'm going to replace that fuse and see if I get power back over to this guy now, or see if it just pops again. And then we'll see what happens. Like I said, I have to check the diagram to see if those power feeds are in common, but I'm just betting you they are. I bet you that shorted out, popped that fuse. So let's put a new fuse in there. I've got the wires spread apart to make sure they're not shorting on anything, and we'll see what happens. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and pull this fuse right here. Pull out this nice factory OEM fuse. Oh, it takes a mini. I gotta get a mini fuse. Hang on. I think that's a good one. It's 15 amp. We'll grab one of these cheap ones too, just in case it's not a good one. Try to use an OEM style fuses if I can, but I'm not above using a cheap fuse in a pinch. Okay, now let's see. Lights. Unit lights. Okay, so now I'm gonna go over here and set back up on this evap purge solenoid and see if we got a signal going there. All right, so I just unplugged this because I popped the darn fuse again. I was just trying to get the O2 sensor out, and this rubbed up against the ground, it arced, and it popped to this fuse right here again. So now I'm down to my generic Harbor Freight fuse. Oh my gosh, it's gonna start a fire and burn the whole car down. Oh my gosh. Give me some Ree in the comments, as Rain Man Ray would say. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can get back here and get this O2 sensor out now. All right, so here's the O2 sensor out. That just popped right out of there really nice and easy. A lot of people might say, like, why wouldn't you just get some wire out and splice that back together and hook it all back up? It'd be fine. Well, the reason for that is that these O2 sensors actually breathe back through the wire, back through the connector. Believe it or not, they have to have a reference to a normal oxygen level to determine the oxygen level inside of the manifold. And they actually do that through a small vent built into the wires. And if you start soldering them and crimping them, they supposedly don't work right. Now, that being said, I have done it on a couple of Dodges and it works. But now that I know better from watching the Wells videos, I'll just go ahead and get a new O2 sensor and I won't chance it, because you're not supposed to do that. The old trusty truck starts again. This truck just won't die. All right, I got my old O2 sensor so I can compare them. I got me a pair of pliers, a couple pairs of pliers, and my O2 sensor socket. We're gonna go down to the junkyard and see what we can find. We'll have to look it up in Hollander and see which ones interchange with it, and because I imagine there's probably some different connector styles and stuff over the different years. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm here at the junkyard. I got this O2 sensor. It's an aftermarket. It's got some oil on it. I'll have to clean it off. It came out of an engine that was upside down, and we had to flip it over. It was sitting on the subframe out of the car. And there's the old one. Yep. I'm here at the A1 Auto Parts in Springfield, Ohio. And, we're gonna go put this on, see if she works. All right, so I got the new O2 sensor here. And this is an aftermarket one, but it'll probably work. And it's just the engine was flipped upside down. I had to flip it back over with a loader so I could get to this. So I think it just got oil on it. I'm just gonna spray it off real good with some starting fluid here. Make sure that's nice and clean, and we should be all set. Looks good. All right, let's stick her in and see what happens. All right, I got her back down in there and tightened up. The little plastic clip piece broke off when I took the old one out, so I just stuck a little nylon strap around her there. But now we're gonna see if we can clear these two permanent codes for the O2 sensor and the purge valve. We plug the scan tool in here. Get it the right way. There. All right, we'll turn the ignition on. Any day now, scan tool. Yeah. It's got evap, purge solenoid code. It's got evap code, heater resistance error, heater control circuit for the O2 sensor. Heater control circuit. Okay, so now we'll go here and hit erase. Yes. Let it rescan. Okay, special functions. We'll just go to global OBD2. You don't need to go into the OEM. No powertrain codes. Turn the key off, back on. I'm trying to check engine light goes out. It's not going to. Let's start it up. Yeah, when we start it up, it goes out. And we can go to special functions. Or is it menu? Oh, somewhere there's a live data. Oh, live data button. Okay. Now what I want to see is the O2 sensor 1. Well, it's barely running. Huh, that was weird. Yeah, she's missing. I need a throttle body, man. But she's switching a little. She might still be in closed loop, which probably is. Boy, she's trimming off a lot of fuel. That catalytic converter's bad. Check that out. I know this has got a bad cat on it already. But it's bad. Okay, the short-term fuel trim is coming back to a more reasonable amount. It might have just been readjusting its fuel trims and stuff. she's definitely responding. She's not in closed loop yet, so I'm not going to worry too much about it, but the O2 sensor is definitely getting a reading and it's working, so we're going to drive it and see what happens. She is definitely ready for a new air filter. I've never had the air filter out of this thing before. I've got another one on the shelf here, so we'll throw that in. I don't know which way it's supposed to go, but that looks good enough to me. All right. And then we're gonna just get down in here and clean this throttle body out a little bit. Just got some throttle body cleaner. I'm just gonna use the towel, go down there and wipe around the throttle blade. It's got a little bit of crud build up there, if you can see it around the edges. I think that's where my rough idle was coming from. I've noticed sometimes when I hit the gas, it kind of won't return down to a low idle for a minute too. I think that's this throttle blade hanging open. And we might clean the MAP sensor off too. Alright, so I wiped out the throttle body a little bit. It still has a little bit of dirt on it, but I got the worst of it. Now, I'm looking here at this. We're just going to spray these little wires here off a little. Maybe. Kind of running out of throttle body cleaner. Let me use two hands to do this. Hang on. Alright, now she seems to be running a little better. She found her idle spot right away. And after you rev, when it comes back to idle, it finds its idle spot right away. So I think that's just that throttle body being a little dirty. And we cleaned the MAP sensor, changed the air filter too. But she seems to be running and back up in business. I still have to fix the transmission fluid leak on her. She's leaking out the output shaft seal here on the driver's side. I don't think I'm going to get that done today. I don't know. Anyway, she's back up and running right. Except for the catalytic converter, which I am going to replace that one of these days because I like my remote start, and the remote start doesn't work with the check engine light on. I tried doing the spacer thing. I put 2 spacers on it. It still can tell. So I'm going to have to go ahead and get it replaced.